I don't go beg, I no go. I don't go beg, I no go borrow. Jesus, look, correde, correde. Jesus, look, correde, I correde, Jesus. Jesus, look, correde. Ire ayo shalom jetumio. Jesus, look, correde. Jesus, look, correde. Moririba, mokorede. No be them say, la reality. Mo testify, I glorify you never. Mo ajijo again, be a last once again I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call this over, okay. Life is beautiful, it's okay. Jesus, look already. I am there. Oh, no more trouble, no more sorrow. I don't go beg, I don't go borrow. Jesus, look already. Jesus, look already. Connection, exceedingly abundantly moving Bangkodi, yes. Woo! Press down, shake it together, running over, yes. Oh, Ibukunto Gara, Bangkodi, yes. Korede. It's okay, it's alright, I'm okay, I'm alright. Tijima, give me victory, change my misery. Not be me the fight, not me the win, grace and mercy, oh, I believe. I try not good to shake everybody, everywhere. Mighty Tyler, my provider.
Splash FM 105.5.
All right, it's good to have you join us this afternoon. It's Talking Points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. My name is Michael Olatunbosun. It's good to be here again, talking things happening around the world, the trending matters, and particularly giving perspectives to them, making us understand the goings on and the goings on in society and around the world. And basically, it is to get all of us to have a common ground to understand the things that are going on around us, essentially to educate us, to enlighten us, and to get us to also participate in terms of, throwing up our opinions. And the solutions aspect of it is not going to be missing again. Okay. We have Chad in the news, and basically it is about the death of the president of Chad. Okay, so you must have heard about Idris Deby, and so you basically understand the trend of what's going on today. I'd just like to read a few bits of the news from Chad Republic, and then we just get talking on the program today. From the Nigerian Tribune, it says, breaking, Chadian president dies of injuries suffered during visit to troops fighting rebels. President of Chad, Idris Deby, has died of injuries suffered on front line during his visit to soldiers fighting the rebels in the northern part of the country. An army spokesman told the Agence France Presse on Tuesday. The president had just won a 6th term and was expected to give a victory speech to supporters, but his campaign director, Mohamed Zen Bada, said he had instead gone to visit soldiers on the front lines. The candidate would have liked to have been here to celebrate, but right now he is alongside our valiant defense and security forces to fight the terrorists threatening our territory, Baza had told reporters. Okay, so in a follow-up to that story, Tribune updates the story. Chadian president dies of injuries one day after winning 6th term. Son named interim head of state. Chad's newly re-elected president Idris Deby has died of injuries suffered on the front line when fighting rebels in the north of the Sahel country, an army spokesman said Tuesday. Deby, 68, just breathed his last defending the sovereign nation on the battlefield over the weekend. Army spokesman General Azam Barmodoa Aguna said in a statement read out on state television. General Muhammad Kaka is the son of the deceased Chadian leader, has been named interim head of state, the army spokesman said. The news came on a day after Deby won, who came to power in a rebellion in 1990, won a 6th term as per provisional results released Monday. Deby took 79.3% of the vote in the April 11 presidential election, the results showed. Deby postponed his victory speech to supporters and instead went to visit Chadian soldiers battling rebels, according to his campaign manager. Okay, so he won 79% of the votes just about 8 days ago in their election. He's been there since 1990. He came to power, in a rebellion. So basically, it must have been a coup d'etat or some sort that brought him to power in 1990, and then the 6th term as a president of Chad. The Punch reports here, son of killed Chad president to take over as military head. Read that story and then come to Goki in a moment. A 4-star general who is the son of Chad's slain president Idris Deby Itno will replace him at the head of the military council, the army announced Tuesday. Military council has been set up, headed by his son, General Muhammad Idris Deby Itno. The army spokesman, General Hazem Mando Aguna, said on state TV and radio shortly after the announcement that the newly re-elected president had died of wounds while fighting rebels in the north of Chad. Okay, so you see, one thing about this matter here, Goki, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, Michael. It's always a pleasure to be here.
How do you read the Chadian story?
Well, it's a funny story for me, and it's unfortunate again because we've lost another president in the space of, I think, 2 months now.
After Magufuli,
now,
some months ago.
This president is gone, but there are so many questions popping up for me.
Okay.
Because now, someone is going to ask, what is the president first doing on the front line or at the front line of the battle?
I'm not sure what their constitution says, but the Nigerian equivalent of a president is commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Yes.
Of course, I understand the fact that he came in even through a coup because he was the chief of staff to the president, former president, Isine Habre.
Okay.
He was the chief of staff in 1990, and he became the president. And for 30 years, he has been the leader. But we should understand that about a year ago, he led an operation where 1,000 Boko Haram fighters were reportedly killed. And I remember that he was trending on Twitter.
Yes.
And Nigerians were saying President Muhammadu Buhari should learn from his actions. But it's quite funny for me because he just won an election. Now you put him at the front line, or he was at the front line.
He just went to visit to boost the morale of the guys.
Was he supposed to fight the terrorists there? Now that's one question. Secondly, you said he sustained injury and died over the weekend. I listened to it while you were reading over the weekend. But you're coming to announce on Tuesday something has happened over the weekend. So there was lack of information there. Secondly, why is it that it is an army commander that was announcing on radio for the people? That's another question. And just within how many minutes now, you've actually announced the establishment of a military council, making the son another violation of what the constitution says, because there is a constitution in Chad that states that if the president is not around or maybe he's dead, the speaker of the parliament should take over.
So you suspect that it was a coup, right?
I suspect, personally, for me. In fact, I suspect that it's actually a coup and maybe the son is even aware.
So, you are hearing Goke here. So the theory is that the son must have led a coup against the father.
Yeah, it could be. No, there's nothing. It's not impossible.
Because it's a democracy. Someone was arguing with me in the office earlier that because I was saying that this thing must be a coup, and he was saying, "What do I mean by that?" And I said, "See, they have a democratically elected president.
They just finished election.
Yes, and he just won his sixth time. And somebody was saying, but sixth time. I said, but they have been voting.
They've been voting because people don't understand that it's election.
It's election."
It's election, and whoever the winner is, they are going to the electoral body are going to recognize.
So their constitution says that the head of the parliament should have been the over. Acting president instead,
and maybe organize an election which will not be able to be a candidate in. But unfortunately, just within how many minutes you announce that you're forming a military council, you announce that you're making the son the head. It's suspicious for me.
They have a transition government, really.
Exactly.
So the Punch here reports that Chad to hold election 18 months after president's death, says army. And let me just read a bit of that story. Chad's army dissolved government and parliament
immediately
after announcing the death of longtime President Idris Deby Itno on Tuesday, but vowed free and democratic elections following an 18-month transition period. Why do you need an 18-month period when you have parliament and you have a vice president, you have a speaker?
I feel we are just seeing a replay of what happened in Mali. And the truth of the matter is, while I was reading this story, sincerely, Sani Abacha was just playing in my head. The way the military come around and just say, this government have been toppled down, we ban all the parliament and the rest, because all of these are they are so suspicious for me. He sustained injury. What happened to all his hate? Nothing. You did not come out to say that we are going to seek an investigation into how the president sustained injury and died. Because sustained injury is different from dying instantly. He sustained injury. Then from the injury, he died. You did not check all of that. And I believe that soldiers will not just kill, soldiers will not just kill the military head, then willingly just hand over to the son. I don't think it works like that, even in the military.
Some mutiny there.
Yeah, some people are aware of it. So for me, it's another issue. It's another problem for democracy in Chad, and of course, it's an unfortunate story for the people because they've lost their president.
Okay, so you mentioned, Tanzania a while ago.
Yeah.
There's something that's playing in my head. I thought we should talk about it. The gerontocratic, mind that is running through the governance space in Africa is something to bother us really. This man was in government since 1990. He
was 38 years when he became president.
You remember Paul Biya is still there in Cameroon. He's been there for, I think he's the longest serving African leader. Yeah. And then you have Museveni, you have Kenyan, you have DR Congo was basically a succession of a family as well. Yeah. And you also had the Zimbabwean example. So it looks to me like the African continent, particularly the Francophone African countries, find, people rising from being rebels to transition to, civilians, and then becoming heads of the countries, and then, perpetuating themselves. There's something specific about these Francophone African countries. I may be wrong, really. I'm trying to ask your opinion about this matter. What's your own translation or interpretation of the situation?
See, the truth of the matter is a layman knows that something is wrong somewhere. Because, I have here the list of, some of the presidents that have, Paul Biya is 88 from Cameroon. He has been there since 1975. Followed by Equatorial Guinea, followed by Republic of Congo, followed by Uganda. You see a lot of them. And if you look at it, that's how political analysis, that's how we make our analysis most of the time. Because you look at it and look at the trend, you look at the similarities. So of course, I concur with what you've said. There is a line of attachment between all of these things and all of these countries and their former colonial masters. And of course, I would say Africa is still far from democracy. That is the truth of the matter. We don't want to talk about it, but we are far away from it. Democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Remember that Bobby Wine is still, just yesterday.
That's Uganda, right?
The former Uganda presidential candidate was still saying that, the world should save Ugandans from Museveni. And we see the US banning some of their top officials who they said must have actually fingered the election or something like that. So the truth of the matter is we are still far away. We can't continue like this.
We can't continue
like this.
All right, still talking points on Splash FM today, the 20th, in the month of April 2021. And, I'm just having the banters with Goki here. Okay. When we come back from this break, I want to go to the conversation that I'm planning to start today and culminate that conversation on Thursday. This week, on the 23rd, will be the World Book and Copyright Day 2021. Basically, usually, annually, commemorated the 23rd of April. And there's something about books that really, strikes a chord in me. I'm a book consumer. I like the expression, a book lover, a book consumer, someone who thinks books. And I've started a conversation that I thought we should really linger on until the week runs out. And I might just, get to give out books on the program, probably on Thursday. I might just give books to people on the program and on Saturday as well. The World Book and Copyright Day commemoration is about books and reading. It says, through reading and the celebration of World Book and Copyright Day, we can open ourselves to others despite distance. We can travel thanks to imagination. We can possess lands. We can get to lands we might even not be able to get to physically by just reading books. Books opens up our minds and our horizon. It helps us to get the world views of others and helps us to possess the minds of other people, particularly the great people of this world. When we come back from this break, I hope to bring you a conversation I had with a writer and publisher on the subject of books, reading culture, and the publishing industry in Nigeria. I will introduce her to you when we come back from this break. It's still Talking Points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. Please don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
Iya bọ̀lì àǹtí, iya bọ̀lì ètò, iya bọ̀lì tèmi nìkan ṣoṣo.
Pásá mi pa.
Wetin you want? Abeg, when you go market, I really need more Maggi chicken. Maggi chicken gangan ni o.
Ewo tún ni Maggi chicken gangan?
Na the real Maggi chicken, Maggi ẹlẹ́dìyẹ. If you no sabi the difference, make I tell you. Dem write Maggi chicken flavour seasoning on top the pan. Maggi chicken flavour, e dey give food ogbonge taste, colour and aroma wey go totori you. O ṣá mọ̀ pé ní tèmi dùn.
O ṣé, ìyá Risi of life.
Yes, ke. When asking for seasoning, ask for the real Maggi chicken flavour. Maggi chicken flavour gangan ní kẹ́ bèrè fún. Pẹ̀lú Maggi, ẹ ṣe oúnjẹ tó dá yàtọ̀.
Oh boy, check this new La Casera packaging now. Polo say the freshness don't fresh. Me say na lie. The refreshment don't fresh. Now the matter with the set to so.
Bring and make us.
Wait, why now?
Hey, same ultra apple taste. Fresh new label. The refresh. refreshment don't fresh. Enjoy the fresh vibes of La Casera with new colorful, exciting look. Positive Bamba apple taste, no change. La Casera, I love this drink.
My people, better don land. Make una come see ogbonge cable wey dem manufacture for Obodo, Nigeria. Na Pure Cables. Pure Cables na correct electrical cable wey dey reliable, dependable, and the people wey dem make am call dey safety conscious. Pure Cables get original copper and aluminium cable for different sizes dem wey you fit use for electrical wiring level for anywhere. Whether na your house, abi na your office, the price nko e no dey tear pocket at all. Nationwide distribution don start. For more information, call 0808 030 3257 0808 030 3257. Pure Cable and Wire Limited. They have print compound 4 gate 122/132 Oshodi Apapa Expressway, Iyano Solo bus stop, Lagos. Pure Cables, Nigerian electrical contractors endorser, SON approval. Pure Cables, na Yubico.
Next time you're shopping for quality margarine, choose the one that's perfect for so many types of meals and has great value too. Choose Devon King's Margarine. Devon King's Margarine is available in stores and retail outlets near you. Choose unbeatable value. Choose Devon King's Margarine.
Hantech Markets is an award-winning financial technology company with over 30 years' worth of experience as we connect our clients to the global financial markets. Are you a working class, student, employed, unemployed, existing traders, or newbie? Do you have a smartphone or a laptop? Are you looking for an alternative source of income in a time like this? Wow! Take advantage of the flexible online training, namely basic, intermediary, advanced, and mentorship classes as we use our robust educational tools to analyze the market. To participate, kindly text name, location to 0805-690-5612. That is 0805-690-5612. For more info, log on to www.hmarkets.com and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Hantech_Africa. Hantech Markets. Trust through transparency.
ní Shoprite àdúródédé fún yín kẹ́ ẹ wà lálàáfíà lóṣù Ramlana yìí gbogbo ń tẹ́ nílò pátá ní ńbẹ̀lákàtà wa bí adìẹ tútù ní onídìí méjì ní 1,799 naira 99 kobo fún kílò kan àtòróró ìsebẹ̀ power vegetable ní 3,499 naira 99 kobo kẹ́ ẹ lè wà láìléwu ẹ dákun ẹ tẹ̀lé lànà yára fara nù ṣọ́ọ̀bù wa oṣù àlùbáríkì oṣù àpọ́nlé lóṣù yóò jẹ́ fún gbogbo wa o iye owó wọ̀nyí yóò gbòde kan títí ọjọ́ kejì oṣù karùn-ún ọdún yìí Shoprite owó tásẹ̀rẹ̀ tó ṣe é fọkàntán gbogbo gbà.
Charles!
Yes, mommy?
Go and bring 2 sachets of hypo bleach for me.
Why 2?
Because I'm using one to soak the whites and using one to kill all the germs.
But I can't see any germs here.
They are so tiny you can't see them. But they are there. And that is why I trust only hypo bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of hypo bleach.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o Panadol Extra náà ni Panadol Extra ó tún ti ń bẹ báyìí nínú ìdè kékeré oníkápẹ́lẹ̀tì mẹ́rin láàdọ́ta náírà péré Panadol Extra kẹ́nẹ́ ni Panadol Extra mú tura bẹ́fọ́rí ìrora ẹ̀yìn ìrora oríkèé ìrora nǹkan oṣù àti ìrora eyín tí ìbá ṣe Panadol kò lè jẹ́ bí Panadol tá ìpadà ò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì lọ rí dókítà Panadol Extra ní paracetamol àti caffeine nínú kò sí fáláboyún àtàwọn ọmọdé tọ́jú orí wọn kéré sọ́dún 12.
Splash FM 105.5.
All right, it's still talking points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. Welcome back. And I told you that we'll be talking about reading, really. World Book and Copyright Day 2021 this week. And starting the conversation today, and up to the rest of the week, I'll be talking about the importance of reading and books, really. And you see, when you talk about books, you are talking about the agency or the tools that help you to cure your mind. They open your mind up and then show you the rest of the world, and they help you to understand, or be able to read meanings to things going on around you. And if you allow me to say it this way, the way to destroy a person is to keep the person from books. If you allow the person to, get hold of books, you have given that person power. And they say knowledge is power. I had this conversation about, books, about the publishing industry, about children's literature, as well as, issues around reading and how it affects leadership or development or underdevelopment indices around countries. She is a writer and publisher. I remembered I had her on Book Splash last week, basically to discuss the book She Evolves, which she co-wrote with 4 other people as one of the other writers in the book. I'm talking about Mrs. Yemisi Egunjobi. She is a publisher and writer. I need you to listen to this interview I had with her, just a part of it really, and I'll be back. It's still Talking Points on Splash FM. You're a very versatile writer.
Thank you very much.
How did you stumble upon writing as a calling?
Aside the fact that I am a woman, I am also a mother. I started my career as a teacher. Then I went into publishing. I was an editor. I worked with Macmillan, started working with Macmillan in 1988 as an editor. And being an editor, you got to rewrite some parts of a book and all that. We go to different countries. When Macmillan UK would want to produce books for some other countries, and they want Nigeria as a big one to review the books and that. And because I'm passionate about the work, and I would rewrite some other people's materials. It gave me an opportunity to start, to write. And over time, I'm a Fulbright fellow. I got the scholarship to study writing for children. Wow. So that added another feather to my cap. And it was easy for me. I've written and published personally over 60 books.
Wow.
For myself.
Over 60 books.
Over 60 books.
That's massive.
Over 60
massive.
books.
So, despite your very, very tight schedule, as a publisher, as a writer, someone who, has seen, almost virtually every continent in this trade, how do you manage to do it? 60 books. And you're not 100 years old.
Well, balancing is something everybody needs to learn, because even you, as the expert here, you have families, you're doing some other things, you're a child to somebody and all that. We all must just learn to balance things. Of course, we need support. So for me too, I've always relied on support in my environment, whether my mother was there, whether my sister was there to take care of the home, whether my husband was there when I would need to travel from one country to the other. You seek help where you need it. But when you're passionate about something, you sleep a while, you get up, you put something on paper. Even in the church, there are times that some ideas would come, and I would quickly jot those ideas down. So you can't teach somebody how to balance, but you can tell them that, okay, I did it this way, so you work out your own balance.
As an editor with multinational publishing houses, you must have read a lot.
Yes.
A lot of manuscripts, a lot of books, and the rest of it.
Yes.
So they usually say that whatever you write is a slice of what you have, imbibed.
That's
so tell me, your influences. Who are the people, who are the authors or writers who have influenced you in this trade?
There are many of them. Because I've had the opportunity of also traveling abroad to study writing for children, obviously that impacts on me. So different people here and there. The manuscripts that I have read, some authors, I think I did a course on writing too. This is Professor Biola Odejide. This is Wale Okediran on here, and this is me here too. You know, so different people like that. You read this, you read that from different continents, and then you can put a few things together.
I'm still speaking with Mrs. Yemisi Egunjobi. She's a writer, publisher, chairperson of Joyce Fit Round Publishers, Ibadan. Let me come to this area that I like to talk about. You are an important player in the publishing industry. Tell me the challenges of publishing in Nigeria, particularly at this time.
Well, you know that there are various challenges in the country. And because there are various challenges in the country, the publishing industry cannot be left out of it. So the publishing industry is as challenged as the country is challenged. Of course, there's the issue of finance. There is
piracy.
Yes, there's the issue of piracy. There is also the issue of authorship. You of course, you're not going to bring authors out of. Well, you can bring authors out of Nigeria, but usually you're going to use authors locally. If our educational system is bad, what do you expect of the authors?
Wow.
So that itself is an issue. And I'm not saying that all authors are bad or we have many bad authors, but you just want people, you know, who have excelled and who you could just relate with and leave them to put the ideas together. You have the issue of corruption everywhere. Before a book would be adopted, whether in school or nationally, or, you know, we have all manner of problems. Readership is also an issue.
Okay, let's stay on this matter of readership. It's said in a lot of places that Nigerians don't read. We have very poor, you know, attitude to books, or if you like to use the regular language, poor reading culture. So you agree with them?
Oh, well, yes, to a large extent. But I would say that, I had said it in different fora, and people don't seem to agree. Yes, our literacy has not gone beyond 200 years, 300 years, while some other countries, 800 years. So you can't compare that. In the country or the countries of the world that you would say, okay, their literacy is high. Yes, literacy is high, no doubt. But they are still talking about low readership. In 2004, 2005, that I was in America for the Fulbright program. It was always on the television. Read 20 minutes to your child. Our readership is going down. So it's not a matter that is limited to Nigeria alone. How we're dealing with it is the issue.
Okay, so you're talking about how we're dealing with it.
Yeah.
What exactly should have been the approach, for instance, to promote literacy? I mean, to promote reading, to excite people to the extent that they would take books and read?
Well, I will start from everyone. It's not just the problem of the publishers alone, or nor the children that are reading. Those days, we have songs, and permit me to sing it in Yoruba. Batamiaro ko ka bimba kawe me, batamiaro ko ka. But now you find children, you find people talking. You don't need to read. Wow. You only need to know someone in one corner and be whatever you want to be. You are high up there. Who are our leaders? How did they get there? It's very discouraging. People that are reading, people that are genuinely excelling in reading, they are nowhere. They are being ruled by people who don't know.
That's a discouragement, for instance.
Total discouragement.
So we have to reverse this.
We have to reverse that. It's very, very important. It's a value. Now children can't go to school because of bandits, Boko Haram, and all that. So where do we start from there? Where the educational system is bad, and you are laboring, yet people who are not laboring are there, and they're making a lot of money. There's no encouragement. Of course, publishers must also do their bit. You encourage children to learn, you keep your business. You can stay in business because you can produce more books.
Publishers are also accused of, paying too much attention to educational rather than leisure reading. Basically, writers of books for schools usually sell more than writers for, creative writers, poets particularly, and other prose writers. Why this focus?
Well, because this is business.
Okay.
It is business. You will want to produce where you know that profit would come from. It's when you are passionate that, okay, you produce a little where you know the money can come from, and then you produce other things, just to encourage the society. You're doing that. I mean, you need even non-governmental and non-profit organizations must make enough money to stay afloat.
I'm still discussing with Mrs. Yemisi Egunjobi, writer and publisher. We are going to be marking World Book Day in a few days now. It has become a ritual that we just practice every year, and that's all. We seem to like the ceremonies that, surround these days, and that commitment. I have not seen it. I'm not sure whether you're a publisher. So I'd like to ask you, in your interface with government and policymakers and the rest of it, how much of commitment are they putting to the table in terms of not just making World Book Day celebration on the microphone or on TV, but something that we entrench in society?
Well, I haven't seen enough that is done in that sphere too. I mean, like you said, it shouldn't be just an annual event alone. Creating a section in your sitting room, no matter how small it is, just a shelf, is enough from your own corner to do that. And before you enter my sitting room, it's not a big place, there is a shelf. And each time people come with children, the children stop there. If everyone will do that, it will go a long way. What of our libraries? Yes, we talk of maybe 1 or 2 libraries in a state or maybe in a local government. But you know what constitutes a local government? Why would it be that? Why would it be that? We're even talking of the World Book Day. By now, there should be lots of competitions. People giving out tokens for children to buy books and all that. We're not doing it. And I am not excluding myself too. It's something we all must see as a value and move it forward so that it's not an annual ritual.
Okay, let me come to your choice of children's books. When you have a lot of books, a lot of titles for children, what's the attraction?
You develop a passion, and you can't say this is how it started. But like I told you, I started as a teacher, and I was the editor of the school magazine at the time. So maybe that attracted me. I don't know. But I just know that anything that has to do with children attracts me. And I'm also glad that I have children of my own, biological children. So somehow I got attracted. And I think that also brought the attraction of the Fulbright. And for me to study writing for children for a year.
When you see children read, what exactly does it transmit to you?
Well, number one is I am glad to see them read. But I am also, excited to know what they're reading and how much that is influencing their lives. Of course, those years, we were always in competition with each other and ourselves to see, okay, what's James Hadley Chase? Have you read? Knock, knock, knock. Who is that? If anybody says knock, 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 the person, the next person will say, who is that? You know, because that's, we have read so many titles. And it's also wrong to feel that children are not reading. Children are reading. I did my master's in publishing for children as a topic. And when I went to some public primary schools to investigate, to see how much they're reading, I found that they were reading. Wow. They were reading, you know, because I did that exercise. I was able to know. I also found out that there were different second-hand book markets here and there. But the truth of it is, many of those second-hand book markets have closed down. They were not making enough money to sustain it. And we've got to do something about that.
Okay, so that something is what I'd like to ask now. Is it policy? What exactly is it that we need to do?
Well, policy is there, but it starts from orientation or reorientation. That it's very important. You as a parent, ensure that your child reads. It's important. When I was bringing up my children, when they were growing up, I would just find children knocking. What do you want? We want to see this person, or we want to see that person. And when I go inside, what is that person looking for? Say, we read, you have to finish this title in 3 days so that you exchange. They were going to second-hand markets in Challenge. They had the markets there that they had registered. So somebody should just take this up. Somebody, somewhere.
Who is that somebody?
Anybody that has the finance to do that. And the passion as well.
Mrs. Yemisi Egunjobi, writer, publisher, and chairperson of Joy's Fit Round Publishers, Ibadan. Thank you for coming, madam.
Thank you for having me.
Splash FM 105.5.
Charles!
Yes, mommy?
Go and bring 2 sachets of hyper bleach for me.
Why 2?
Because I'm using one to soak the whites and using one to kill all the germs.
But I can't see any germs here.
They are so tiny you can't see them. But they are there. And that is why I trust only hyper bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of hypo bleach.
Ibadan! 9 Mobile 4G LTE has landed and we are in for the time of our lives. Streaming matches will never be the same. Video calls will be clearer than ever. Work will be so smooth, it won't feel like work. That's smooth.
Yes, Ibadan. Enjoy browsing with quality 4G LTE on 9 mobile data plans. Get 2 GB plus free access to social media for 500 naira. 7 GB plus free access to social media for 1,500 naira. And 3.5 GB free data for night streaming on select monthly data plans of 1,000 naira and above. Dial *200*3*1# to get started. T's C's apply. 9 Mobile.
Welcome to the new world of cool side.
Ojú inú wò pé nǹkan yìí ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ọ. Báradì lọ́wọ́ láti tú kẹ̀kẹ́ orin kalẹ̀ níbi ìdíje. Ìdíwọ́ ìbá dé láìrò tẹ́lẹ̀. Máa ṣọ́jọ́jọ́. Fakọyọ pẹ̀lú súwìtì Mentos Fresh Action. Tó ti ní àfikún vitamin C. Àmẹ́nu tutù. Ó ní èròjà atunilára olómi. Alára àgbàyídá nínú rẹ̀ tí máa mú kọ́nà fún dá. Kóhùn rẹ̀ lè já geere.
Fresh Action Mentos Candy.
Súwìtì Mentos Fresh Action. Fakọyọ lára ọ̀tọ̀.
Life is a mystery which can only be unraveled by the Word of God. And that's why you need to join Pastor Prince Will Afolabi of God's Power Evangelical Mission every Wednesday at 7:45 p.m. on Splash FM 105.5 as we unravel the mystery of life for great impact and success. Join us then. God bless you.
Your young brains are constantly buzzing with important questions like,
why does Mother of the Nile know so much? Why is Miriam so good at solving crimes? Why do Lex and her friends need a side hustle? Why is Elliot in space? Why are Darwin and Newt so clever?
Luckily, GoTV has all the answers on our fun and educational kids channels like PBS Kids, Disney Junior, Nickelodeon, Da Vinci, and Cartoon Network. So get GoTV today to keep your little one's brain entertained all day long. GoTV. Love it.
àti dé òpin ìdíje àṣẹ yìí ọlọ́wọ́ ṣíbí tó gbajúmọ̀ kárí ayé ni yóò jẹ́rìí sí oúnjẹ tó dára jùlọ.
ó ti fún ṣẹ́jú jẹ́ wá yìí tàbí yóò wí pé gbégbá orókè.
àmì ni o gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́wọ́ ṣíbí wọ̀nyí ló gbégbá orókè. ibikíbi tó lè wà tàbí irúfẹ́ ìtọ́wò rẹ o lè ṣe oúnjẹ alárinrin ní gbogbo ìgbà pẹ̀lú ọ̀ngà ohun ìsebẹ̀ aládùn ti nàìjà tá a ṣe báyìí pẹ̀lú sóyà tiwantiwa fún èrè aṣaralóore rẹpẹtẹ.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
Oh boy, check this new La Casera packaging now. Polo say the freshness don't fresh. Me say na lie. The refreshment don't fresh. Now the matter with the set to so.
Bring and make us.
Wait, why now?
Hey, same ultra apple taste. Fresh new label. The refreshment don't fresh. Enjoy the fresh vibes of La Casera with new colorful, exciting look. Also the Bamba apple taste no change. La Casera, I love this drink.
Splash FM 105.5.
All right, you're welcome back. That was a conversation with Mrs. Yemisi Egunjobi on writing, reading, publishing, and particularly the reading culture. And she had a lot to say, talking about challenges in the publishing industry, readership, and reading culture. And then she connected, this issue with our poor reading. Connects our poor reading culture to bad choices in choosing those who lead us. You understand the essence of that, because if you have a reading people, you essentially see that reflected in the way they run the affairs of state. And the saner society is the more the people read. That's basically what it transports to me. And then she talks about writing for children, it connotes excitement. You need to also build the culture of reading around your home. Make reading interesting to your children. So in your own houses or homes, read and make it make your children love it. And they cannot love it if you just decree it. You have to also read. Goki, let's talk about this.
Well, exactly. I noted some things in the things that she mentioned, and of course, I want to say that improving our reading culture is our responsibility, and we must be intentional about it. And I love the way she was able to link the fact that the narrative of leaders are readers or readers are leaders is changing, because we now see people in political office who are not readers. Because if you look at some of the policies they bring out, you ask yourself questions: are these people really reasonable at all? Because one thing that I've understand that knowledge does is that it widens your horizon.
Exactly.
You get to see more. You get to understand more. And there is a lot of things that I have to talk about it. We should look at schools. How many schools have a standard library? I think the question is even how many schools have chairs in the class. So we should look at that first. In the family, how well do you encourage it? I used to do something while I stay with my parents. There are children around, and what I do is I call them and I tell them that I'm going to give you maybe 100 naira or 200 naira. Tell me 3 problems in this community, and let's look at how we are going to solve it. Michael, I was really surprised because all the children came out. They were very serious. Of course, money was the motivation. But of course, they calmed down and they brought out the solution.
So you achieved your aim, really?
I achieved my aim.
Okay.
And it was for me like, this is so simple. You can tender this in front of the chairman of the landlord or landlady association, and we solve all the problems that we've been facing. So the truth of the matter is, readers should be leaders. We should change our political narrative. We should change our political orientation. Money should not be the only qualifier Because if you look at it, I was just gathering facts, and I find out that the APC in the last general election placed nomination form for presidency for 45 million naira just to collect form. If you're running for governorship, 22 million naira. If you're running for Senate, you have to pay 7 million naira. If you are running for House of Rep, 3.85 million naira.
And the people who
are intellectuals.
The intellectuals are probably spending that amount of money on books. And they're not even allowed to get to, make policies. They're not, allowed to get to the ballot to the extent that they get voted into power to effect the changes of these things that they've right.
Exactly. It's sad to say, but because my parents are teachers, because how many teachers have 2 million naira in their account? How many?
We were at the bookshop together on Friday.
We were there together on Friday.
We saw books. Books written by leaders, Lee Kuan Yew, Winston Churchill, all of them.
All of them.
And you see, if you took 10 million naira to the bookshop,
you will actually come out standing.
Lovely books.
If you take 10 million naira, you just come back. Nothing, because you have a lot of things to consume. But how do you consume all of these things and we allow them to waste?
0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Let's see if we could get in one or two calls. Just get your, perspective on the matters we talked about. Quite a number, really. Chad Republic, Idris Deby, and then, the coup, so to speak, and then the plan to have election in 18 months, and then reading and matters arising. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Bola Jasper.
Mr. Bola Jasper.
Yes, thank you. The issue of this charge, which has been earlier discussed, I want to say that when you look at this president, like the one of Cameroon, Chad, and some that you have mentioned when you are having this discussion, is it not another style of monarchical system of government under the guise of democracy? That is my question.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Let's attend to another caller. Calls, questions really. Question and question. Of course, it's important to ask questions. Questions lead you to, attempts to, dissect the problems and then solve the problem. Yeah. Really. Yeah. You have a call to make. Okay, just see if we could attend to this caller. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Olumide from Gbagi.
Olumide from Gbagi. Let's talk, sir.
Yes, I want to pick on two issues you picked up.
Go ahead, sir.
Firstly, that has to do with the president of Chad, and secondly, about the reading of books.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
And now, there's no gainsaying about that Chad. It's plain. The issue there is complicated. It's a coup. From what I'm a political science student, and I've been going about this issue of child for some time.
Okay.
So it's a coup. All those ones should be there to the light very soon anyway. Then about books, students should be encouraged to read books. Students nowadays don't do that. They fiddle with their phones and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then you find out that in school nowadays, students are allowed to come to school with phones. In our time, those things are not allowed at all.
There were no mobile phones during your time. There were no mobile phones during your time.
Yes, I went to federal government college, so they were not there. If you want to call, we go to Nitel with our coins.
You're not talking now.
So all those things should be stopped. Honestly, distract the students. Don't allow them to read at all.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's not as if I'm against electronic reading, but if you distract the students in schools.
All right, thank you very much. Lumide, thank you very much. Well said. Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
You're welcome to Talking Points today. What's the name, please?
Okay, Abiodun Fetuga is my name, calling from Mokola.
Abiodun Fetuga. Yeah, let's talk, sir.
I really love what you did on the radio this afternoon. But I just wish there is a way we can miraculously turn around things in this country. Now, in our universities where we expected reading to be encouraged, a first-class student will be given a gift of maybe like laptop.
Okay.
But the most beautiful or the most handsome guy in school after beauty competition or social activity will be given a brand new car worth 3 million naira.
Okay.
That's as in, from that university, we need to address that. In our politics, yes.
Abiodun.
Yes.
We have to go. But let me just give you this. You see, when people, my own personal opinion now, when people criticize universities for these things, I don't agree with that criticism. Let me tell you why. I have been very much involved in universities, and I know what I'm saying here now. These prizes are instituted by some families. Yeah. You say Olatunbosun, can gift for the best student in this thing, and Olatunbosun can give 1,000 naira to it.
Exactly.
So the point is that why don't us who are angry with this thing also mobilize our friends to say Olatunbosun and friends, 1 billion naira for the best student in physics or something. Why don't we also do it? Companies sponsor these things, and individuals sponsor it. Yes.
Yes, I love that solution.
Okay.
And lastly, our politics. We need to review our laws or constitution for anyone that is coming into that political position. You can't just say a primary school certificate.
All right, Abiodun.
Can become our president.
Abiodun, thank you very much. There's a bill at the House. There's a bill at the National Assembly that's going to address that.
I wish they will pass it.
All right, so thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling. Okay, the job is done. Goki, the final shot for today.
Well, for me, Africa is still far away from democracy.
All right. Okay, so let's continue to work towards making the democracy that we have work for us. My name is Michael Olatunbosun. About the news updates in a moment, and after that, game on. Enjoy the rest of the day. Please make sure you do everything within your power to make this nation better.